Okay, backing up your Drupal site part 1, the SQL part. There's two parts to the Drupal sphere, whatever you want to call it. There's the files and the database, and that's really with any web app. Um, you know, this is on a shared hosting, so I don't have to worry about backing up my server or my configs or anything like that. Just the Drupal files and the Drupal database. That's it. So the first part is the database. It's really easy to do this. I've got a module called Backup and Migrate. This is really the best way to do it. I love the heck out of Backup and Migrate. I use it a lot. I use it on every site because why not make a backup? You know, the database is like 10 megs. I mean, it doesn't make sense not to. So once you go get that installed, now I'm going to show you how to configure it. I'm going to configure two. It's under content management, but I'm going to configure two types of jobs and then two schedules for them. You got to make sure that your cron is running. I think I got a video out there for it. If not, let me know and I'll create one. But the first things first, create a destination to put the backups. I've already created one on mine called outside public root. Basically, it says from the directory you're in, move back to directories and then put it in DB backups, which is a folder that I created on my shared hosting outside of the public root. So it's in the same folder as I created, and you can name it whatever you want. I just database backups because it makes it easy. But DB backups is in the same folder as public root, public HTML, not in public HTML. Very important distinction, because if it is in public HTML, web accessible, and people can grab your SQL database, that's not good. Next thing, create your files, or create your, I'm sorry, not your files, your profiles. I'm going to create two profiles, a daily profile. As you can see, I've done this before already. I'm going to call it tutorial daily. Is going to be the backup name that I'm using. And the reason I'm using that is so that I can differentiate. You know, I'm going to keep 5 of these on hand. That's when we get over to the schedules. But I'm going to keep 5 of these dailies on hand that I can go back from, and it's going to append a timestamp to it, so I know which day is which. I'm not going to compress it. You can add gzip or bzip or zip compression, but I'm not going to add any compression. And if this is a production site, I highly recommend the AES encryption, and also read up on AES encryption or encryption to know how to decrypt as well. The database options, you can include or exclude what you want. If you know what you want to include or exclude. For my dailies, I just leave it at what it has for the default, so that it doesn't get the cache or the watchdog stuff or the session data. But I always send an email if it succeeds or fails, because I want to know personally. Or take it offline if you want, but I'm not going to take it offline. I'm just going to save it and create my weekly profile. And the weekly profile, I'm getting everything: session data, cache data, everything. So I'm going to call it weekly profile, tutorial weekly. Put the timestamp on there because I want it on there. Again, no compression. But for database options, I'm going to make sure that everything is unchecked because I want everything. Save it. Okay, now I got 2 profiles, but the profiles don't mean anything unless I'm going to manually do it or create a schedule. A schedule, you need cron if you want to do your schedules. So, like I said, if I didn't create a video about on cron, let me know and I'll create one, because it's really it's a good thing to have. A lot of modules use it. So I'm going to create my schedule. My first one is going to be the daily schedule, and my daily backup schedule, I'm going to use the daily profile, and I'm going to back up every 1 day, and I'm going to keep 5. And like it says, the number of backup files to keep before deleting the old ones. Use 0 to never delete backups. Important to know, scheduled backups directory. I'm going to set it to outside public root. That's that other folder. And I guess we really should create a destination of a daily and a weekly after reading this more closely. Usually I just use one site per, but other files in the directory will get deleted. if you specify a limit. So we've got a limit of 5, so everything else is going to get cleared except for those 5. So I'm going to go back and create separate directories, but for right now this will work. Save my schedule, and I'm going to create a new one, and this one's going to be the weekly backup schedule using the weekly profile. I'm going to keep 4 because I want to keep about a month's back, and I'm going to set it to be outside my public root. Save it, and now I've got my SQL backed up. Oops, I got to edit this. See the frequency once a day. I don't want it to run once a day. I want it to run once a week. It's a weekly backup. So outside public root, and there's my profile. Use the profiles that I want. Once a week, once a day. It's going to back to this one's going to get backed up once a day. This one's going to get backed up once a week. That way, I've got a month back. That's outside my public root, so the public can't access it, and that's my SQL database backup. So if I got my cron set correctly, it runs automatically. So I hope that was easy enough. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments or send me a message or let me know, because that's pretty simple and straightforward. Part 2 is coming up. It'll be on creating, doing the file side of it, backing up files. That one you can use with Windows if you know how to, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to do it on a Linux box as a cron job there.